determined the number of fornications or adulteries a person must commit before he is born. I want you to watch the video to the end. You'll be surprised, you will laugh, and you will learn. Watch this video. God bless you. The title of my message is Allah determines the number of fornications or adultery you commit. Let's turn to the hadith. Let's turn to Abu Hurairah. Let's turn to Abu Hurairah. Abu Hurairah, that is to Sahih Muslim number 2657b. Sahih Muslim 2657b. It is reported by Abu Hurairah, and this is what he says. Allah's apostle, peace be unto him, says, verily Allah has fixed the very portion of adultery which a man will indulge in, and which he of necessity must commit. The adultery of the eye is a lustful look. The adultery of the tongue is a licentious speech. The heart desires and yearns, which the past may or may not be put into effect. Abu Hurairah is saying that Allah's prophet, that is Muhammad, said Allah has fixed the portion of adultery, or what the Arab will call the zina, has fixed the portion of adultery you or man is supposed to indulge in, and there will be no escape from it. Another version will say there will be no escape from the amount of adultery Allah has proposed that you should commit. That is what Sahih Muslim 2657 is saying. So let us now take some people who are so deep in adultery. The ashawo, that is the prostitute. It simply means that before a young girl is born, before this girl is giving birth to in a nice hospital or wherever in their house, Allah has already determined what this girl should be, or what this, or the fornications or adultery this girl should commit. So it simply means that if Allah writes in his book that this girl that is to be born, Ajua, Daisy, Teresa, Fuseni, Abiba, Aishatu, this girl who is to be born, if Allah writes that this girl will every day will fornicate 3 times to 10 times averagely in a day, then it simply means that Allah is saying that that girl is supposed to be a prostitute, what we call ashawo in my country. If Allah determines that this young man who seems not to love women, but his desire is to men, Allah has determined that he puts that thing into man. So the man decides that I become what? Homosexual. Or the lady decides that my love is to women. So she becomes a lesbian. Because Allah, according to Sahih Muslim 2657b, Allah has already determined what you should be, the number of fornication and adultery you should partake in. And somebody will say that, but when you go to Muslim countries, they stone people because of adultery, fornications, and so, oh yes. When you read another Sahih Muslim 1690a, this is what it says, and it is reported by Ubadah B. Asmith, and this is what Ubadah B. Asmith says. in Sahih Muslim 1690a, Allah's messenger, peace be unto him, says, receive teaching from me. Receive teaching from me. Allah has ordained a way for these women, for those women, when an unmarried male commits adultery with an unmarried female, they should receive 100 lashes and banishment for 1 year. And in case of married male committing adultery with a married female, they should receive 100 lashes and be stoned to death. Sahih Muslim 1690a. I want to read it again. Ubadah bin Asmith is reporting Muhammad, and he says that this is what Allah's messenger is saying. Receive teaching from me, receive teachings from me. Allah has ordained a way for those women when an unmarried male commits adultery with an unmarried female, they should receive 100 lashes and banishment for 1 year. And in case of married male committing adultery with a married female, they should receive 100 lashes and be stoned to death. Sahih Muslim 1690 verse 1698. So yes, the Sharia law determines that when people fornicate or cause adultery, they should be stoned. And there are many evidence, there are many videos of people whose head are even being cut, stoned to death, and so on, because of what has been said. So they bring it together and call it the Sharia law. So yes, the same hadith also talks about people being lashed 100 lashes, and also there are videos of that too, and people being stoned to death, or even they slaughtered. Now let's continue. Even though Allah has determined that this should be done to save people, the same Allah, as before the people are whipped and killed and stoned and so on, Allah has already determined that they should do it. Yes, Allah has already determined that said people should commit fornication and adultery. Let's turn to another another hadith. That is Sahih al-Bukhari 66:1-2. Sahih al-Bukhari 66:12. It says, and this is narrated by Ibn Abbas. He says, I did not see anything so resembling minor sins as what Abi Hurairah said from the Prophet, who said, Allah has written for the son of Adam his inevitable share of adultery, whether he is aware of it or not. The adultery of the eye is a looking at something which is sinful to look at. The adultery of the tongue is to utter what is lawful to utter, and the innermost wishes and longs for adultery, and the private parts turn that into reality or refrain from submitting to temptation. This is what the hadith is saying. He says that Allah's prophet Muhammad said, Allah told him this, that Allah said, before Adam was born, before Adam, the son of Adam was born, it was inevitable, his share of adultery, whether he is aware of it or not. You see, you listen to me and you watching me. The Quranic Allah, the Islamic Allah, is saying that before your mother gave birth to you, the Allah has determined the number of fornication and adultery you should cause, and it is inevitable, and it is there whether you are aware of it or not. See the Quranic Allah. And I say it's from Sahih Bukhari 66:12. There's something funny about the Muslims. Every time I post the hadith, some of them will come and tell me that, oh, the hadith is a fake hadith. It's a fake hadith. That's so funny. And the same Muslims will go and quote another hadith, and they say this one it is a true hadith. But I want you to realize something. Anytime you see Sahih attached to a hadith, it means that the populace, all the Muslims have agreed that it is from Muhammad. There are some of the hadiths, truly there are no Sahih attached to it. Sahih is an Arabic word which means authentic. So when you read or hear Sahih al-Bukhari or Sahih Muslim and so on, there are about 6 Sahihs. And I normally quote from this Sahih. I normally, or 90% of the time, I quote from a Sahih. You see, and this Sahih Bukhari 66 verse 12, he said that before the son of Adam was created or was born, it has been determined for him the number of sins that he will sin, whether he's aware of it or not. Somebody will say that when it comes to temptations and so on, it's the devil who tempts us. According to the Sahih, according to the Sahils, no, it is not. It is not. According to the Hadith, it is not. It is not. Our falling into temptation is not determined. It's not because the devil has tempted us. Let's read. Let's read. This one is Sunan Abi Dawud. Even though there's not necessarily attached to it, most Muslims accept it. Sunan Abi Dawud. There are some of the stonings that is done right now. It is from Sunan Abi Dawud. This is from Sunan Abi Dawud 46 verse 14. It says, and it's reported by Khalid al-Hadhar. Khalid al-Hadhar. It says, I said to Al-Hassan, Abu said, tell me about Adam. Was he created for heaven or for the earth? He said, no, for the earth. I said it was available for him. I said, tell me about the following verse of the Quran. That is, can lead any into temptation concerning Allah, except such are themselves going to blazing fire. He said, the devils do not lead anyone astray by their temptation, except the one whom Allah has destined to go to hell. So you see, this Sunan Abi Dawud is quoting a hadith. You see, he's quoting another hadith, and he's saying that, oh, will Adam go to heaven or paradise or hell? And he says, it is not as it was available for him. It's not available for him. Whether you go to heaven or whether you go to hell, it is not his doing. It is not because of him. He doesn't determine whether you go to heaven or you go to hell. And it is not because of it's not because of a devil's temptation. I read that place again. Can any temptation concern Allah except such as are themselves going to the blazing fire? He said, the devils do not lead anyone astray by their temptations, except the one whom Allah has destined to go to hell. So they are simply saying that, yes, the devil will come and tempt us, but if you are destined to go to hell, if Allah has said that you should always go to hell, you fall. And if Allah has destined that you go to heaven, you will not fall. So the temptation that comes to you, whether you overcome it or it overcomes you, it is not determined by you. It is not your lust of the flesh. It is not your lust of your eye. It is not your lust pride of life. No, it is because Allah has determined that you should go to hell. So when the temptation comes to you, you fall. Let's read the most famous Abu Hurairah. Most of my quotations come from Abu Hurairah, and I think most of it he was able to. I think he was so close to Muhammad because most of the quotations come from Abu Hurairah. Do you understand? He is one of those who said this is what Allah said, this is what Muhammad said, this is what Muhammad said, and then the compilers compiled. Do you understand? The compilers compiled. The Muslims, the Abu's, Bukharis and so on, they compile. The Utnams and they compile. They are the compilers. But Abu Hurairah is not a compiler. He's someone who recites, who just said what Muhammad said, and then it was written down. So this is what Abu Hurairah said. The Prophet, peace be unto him, said, the child born out of wedlock belongs to the one whose bed it is born, and stoning to death is for the fornicator. Agreed upon regarding Abu Hurairah Hadith, book 8, Hadith 187. You see, this is what this hadith is saying. He said the prophets told them that when a child is born out of wedlock, this child belongs to the person whose bed was used for the fornication or adultery. And then stoning belongs to those who committed adultery or fornication. I want to explain to you. He's simply saying that in case two Muslims or two people go to a hotel and they fornicated in the hotel's room on the bed, the child that is to be born belongs to the owner of the hotel, because the bed belongs to the owner of the hotel. So the child that is supposed to be is born through this adultery or fornication belongs to the hotel manager or the proprietor or the owner of the hotel or the shareholders of the hotel. But stoning belongs to the adulterers or fornicators. So the child, when you go and fornicate, or when somebody fornicates, the child that comes out of the fornication is not your child, according to the Quran, according to the hadith. It's not your child. It is the child of the owner of the bed. So when you go and sleep on somebody's bed, maybe your friend's bed, your best man's bed, or your somebody's bed, the child that will be born out of that fornication or adultery belongs to the owner of the bed, but the stoning belongs to you. I hope you understand. Let me read it again. The prophet said, the child born out of wedlock belongs to the one whose bed it is born, and stoning to death is for the fornicator. I hope you understand. This is the person's people are following. They call him Allah. This is the person millions of people are following every day and praying to every day. This is what his books are saying. Now I have some few questions for you before you go. Who is that Allah? Who do you think is that Allah? Do you think he's the Holy Ghost? Do you think he's the Holy God mentioned in the Bible? Do you think the Holy God mentioned in the Bible? Is that Allah? Even our traditional religions, the God that they mention, do you think that Allah is even that God? Question number 2. Do you believe people have to follow this Allah? Do you believe people from the genuineness of their hearts, do you believe they should follow this Allah? This Allah that guarantees adultery and fornication. This Allah that writes adultery for you. When you are coming into the world, he has written your destiny already, that you become a fornicator, you will become an adulteress, you marry breaker, you will become a homosexual, you will become a lesbian. Do you think people need to follow or have to follow this Allah? Question number 4. Can you write in the comment box some of the absurdities of this Allah? Write it down. Question number 5. Do you think those who are stoned to death, those who the Sharia law is applied to, do you think is right? Do you think they are guilty? Do you think they are guilty? Those whose head are cut, those who are stoned, give me the answer in the comment box. Do you think they are guilty? Final question. Can you agree? Can I conclude that this Allah is the devil himself? Because the devil thinks you. Don't you think if I say this Allah is the devil himself, I've not said anything bad? I want you to join me in tomorrow's teaching. And the topic of tomorrow's teaching will be the judgment of the Islamic Allah. The judgment of the Islamic Allah. I want you to, my friend, before you go, I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to press on the notification bell. I want you to share it to your friends. I mean, subscribe. Some of you will watch and then go away. I mean, just go and subscribe. Subscribe. If it means feeling, sometimes you tell you to fill a Gmail account, don't worry, you just subscribe. And God will bless you. Let me pray for you. If you're a Muslim listening to me, I don't have anything against you. I don't have anything against your religion. It is for me to tell you, to give you an opportunity to decipher whether what you have been told in Islam is the right thing or not. Jesus Christ loves you. He's a Prince of Peace. He came to this world, he never committed any sin. He will lead you into life eternal. May God bless you. May God touch you.